Hello, beautiful people. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluchi Imo, and on this channel, I talk about cake business. This is your cake business school where I teach you tips and strategies on how to grow a thriving cake business when it comes to the baking aspects and also the cake decorating aspects. I'm an international award-winning cake artist that is based in Swindon, the United Kingdom, and you're most welcome to my channel. If you're stopping by for the first time, please don't make it your last. I love to have you here, or I would love to have you here as a part of this community. And if you've always been here, thank you so very much for your support. I love having you here still. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about oven baking temperature. Yes, oven baking temperature. And I know that is an important topic when it comes to us as bakers, because this is a critical factor to the success of your cakes, to the outcome of the cakes that you bake. Now, if you're a baker that struggles with getting the good results for your cakes, then this video is for you. Or if you're struggling with understanding your oven, this video is for you. I'm going to share how I do mine and how I've been able to navigate. So moving from Nigeria to the UK and then moving again, and how I work with my oven to get the best results for my cakes. If you're interested in this video, you know how we do it. Get something to eat, drink, relax, and I'll be right back. You're welcome back. So down to business. I moved from Nigeria to the UK, and when I was back home in Nigeria, I was in a fabricated oven, what we call a fabricated oven, meaning it is built for you out of aluminium, I think, and then they make everything for you. So that was the kind of oven I was using back in Nigeria. If I can find a picture, I would insert it for you so you have an idea. But when I got to the UK, I started using the one that you have in the house, like the domestic oven. I don't know what else to call it, but the oven you have, the inbuilt one you have in your house. When I arrived, I was at Huddersfield first of all, and then I moved to my place in Manchester. And then to my greatest surprise, the temperature I was using, the baking temperature I was using back in Huddersfield did not work in Manchester. And so I was having issues with my cakes. I would have it well baked on top and the sides, but the middle, the bottom is usually soggy, especially with my loaf cake pans. They will be soggy underneath and they will not be done. So I was wondering what was really happening. I was thinking it was my pans. Is it the change of location? Because I did not change my recipes. So I was really wondering what the issue was and where this was coming from, until a mentee of mine helps me and this issue was resolved. She had to go online for me, check for the brand of oven I was using. I told her the brand of oven I was using, and then she gave me the pamphlet, the how to use the manual, it's called. So she sent me the manual and I was able to figure out, okay, this is what we can use, this is what we can try, and that was resolved. But even after then, I enrolled for a class where I learned how to bake with a lower temperature. So the thing we are all used to is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Which is equivalent to, I think, 170, 180 or 160 degrees centigrade. I'm not too sure now. I think I just did this a couple of weeks back and I can't even remember. So I think it's 170 thereabouts. And that's what we know to bake with. But the thing is, and the truth is, not all cakes are baked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or at 170 degrees centigrade. Others bake with a low temperature and a lower temperature or a slower temperature. So right now, I'm in that place where not all of my cakes are baked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, like I said, I was going to update that teaching, which is what I'm doing now. If that works for you, it's fine. But if you've moved to another place, another country, you've changed recipes, or you're trying to use yours and it's not working, then you want to try maybe baking at a lower temperature. Now, I did not take this decision on my own. I enrolled for classes where the baking of the cake called for a lower temperature, and that's what I'm using now. So I'm not baking all of my cakes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit anymore. So what I do is to, number one, I do not even steam bake anymore because there is really no need for that, being that I bake with a lower temperature. If I wanted to, I'll be fine. If it was my own recipe, I'll be fine. But I've learned and I've upgraded my recipes. Not that my recipes were bad, but I just felt the need to. Okay, so I've upgraded my recipes and those recipes do not call for steaming. So I don't steam anymore. But if I were baking my own recipes, I would steam it. So right now what I do is to bake with the fan function. I bake with the fan function because it helps me with the even distribution of the heat. So if you have the inbuilt oven and you're using maybe the one that shows the top and bottom grill, I'm going to try to put these things on the screen so that you can see. If that's the one you're using, I think you want to try baking with the one that has the fan icon. So that's what I bake with. And like I said, it helps with even distribution of heat. That's one thing I learned here. And my oven has the fan function. So I put it on there. First of all, I turn on the timer and then I set it to the fan icon. And then the next thing I do is to set the required temperature or the stated temperature for that cake, and it will bake. So right now, I'm not going to say this is what I bake with or this is what I bake with, because simply because, not because I do not want to reveal, but simply because you might try it and it might not work for your cake, or you might try it for a customer. So the thing is, I bake with a lower temperature around 140, around 140, around 140. That's what I bake now. So it's a lower temperature, and you can see that it's way lower than around 130, 140, and you can see that it's a lower temperature. Now, this is what I bake with. Please make sure that your recipe calls for it, or that if you're trying this out to see if it works, you're trying it for a cake that you are baking, you experiment and try it out for yourself first. Do not try it out for a customer's cake. Try it and see the results you will get. I bet you slow baking helps with the texture of your cakes. If you know you've been having dry cakes or your cakes are not getting done, then you want to try baking at a lower temperature. The thing is, it's going to take longer than your regular baking, which comes out in like 30, 35, 40, 45, 55 minutes. It takes a little longer, but it will come out well baked. So that's one thing with how I use my oven now. The fan function is great, is key, and then I bake at a lower temperature for some of my recipes. So this is what I thought to share. 350 degrees is not bad at all. Now, if you're having fantastic, amazing results with your cakes, please stick to it. But if you're adventurous, or if you're looking to try to find a solution to the challenges you're having with your oven or your baking, then you want to try baking at a lower temperature. And now you might say, oh, but my oven does not have it doesn't have the markings, it doesn't have this temperature, it doesn't have degrees around it, I can't see anything. Maybe you're using a fabricated oven, or the oven you're using does not have all the marks. Because I remember, yes, in Nigeria, the one I had at home did not have any number. So that's one thing that prompted me to buy an oven thermometer as well, or an oven thermometer as well, that I was not using in my bake studio. If this is you, what you want to do is to steam bake your cakes. To get a good result, please try steam baking your cakes. It would help with the moistness. If it's a fabricated oven that doesn't have a fan, you cannot definitely be fanning your cakes. There's no way to get that done. So steam bake your cakes, put water in a pan, or like a water bath, like they call it, and then put in your pan. If you do not have a pan, you can put it in another cake pan, a bigger cake pan, put it at the base or the lower rack or the lowest rack, and then allow it steam a little while the oven is preheating before you put your cakes in. That's one thing you want to do. And another thing you want to do is to get yourself an oven thermometer. This will really help in reading the temperature before you put your cakes into the oven. That's one way to help. Just make sure that it's functioning nice, it's functioning fine. I had one that I used for years before I relocated out of Nigeria. So I hope that these tips will help you when it comes to baking your cakes. Thank you so very much. I hope that this video has been of great help to you. And I hope that you get better results with your cake and with your baking. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. One thing as well I want to talk about is the temperature. If you use your oven thermometer and you put it into the oven, the temperature will not rise. If it rises, then there is an issue and you need to call someone to come do a check. So I hope that this video has been of great help to you. Please don't forget to hit the like button just to say thank you and to help this video get to as many people that need to see it. Thank you for the views so far. Please don't stop sharing my videos. Don't stop engaging and commenting with me. Don't stop liking. Please watch until the end as well. If you watch halfway and drop off, it hurts the performance of my video and the channel as well. So please help me. Thank you so very much for always being here. Until I see you in my next video, stay happy, stay safe, and stay blessed.